Hey there, welcome to Ben's Album Challenge here on Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're back here with Ben's Album Challenge. It's been a while now. Basically, for those of you who don't know what goes on here, Ben gives me an album once a week, usually, and I listen to it and I just give my opinion about the album. Usually likes me to pick one song out of the album that I really like quite a bit. So we're going to start by talking about the album we're doing today, which is Kansas, their third studio album called The Masque. Actually, don't mind this album. It's a pretty solid album, I think. Not a huge fan of Kansas, as many of you already know, but it's not a bad album. I think I actually prefer it over the other two that I have. I'm always at questioning about whether Kansas is actually what people say they are, which is a progressive rock band. I don't really see them that way. Yes, they have progressive rock elements, the same as Styx, the same as Journey. They all have progressive rock elements to their music, but I don't really see them as a progressive rock band. To me, they're a hard rock band with progressive elements. Not a lot of. In the case of Kansas, they have more than most bands, at least the U.S. bands, anyways. So this album has 8 tracks on it, all pretty solid. No really bad ones. A couple I didn't really like. The beginning ones were a little bit too kind of gave me that kind of southern bluesish feeling. I don't know if they actually are like that or not, but they give me that feeling that they of that kind of genre and that kind of music. So it's the first track is called "It Takes a Woman to Love a Man." Joe Walsh's vocals very dominating here, and this is the song that starts it off. Gives me that kind of southern feel to this track, and not really crazy about the track. The second song, pretty much the same. A little bit more funky though, I think. It is a little bit, I think the bass gives it that kind of a little bit more of a funky feel to it. And when I say a feel to it, I don't mean like it's dominated by it. It's just a hint of it. Like you get that feeling from it, that's all. But there are some nice guitar parts on this. 2 Cents Worth, which is the name of the track. The third track is kind of, I think, the beginning of what people might call progressive rock on the album. Icarus is Born, of Wings and Steel is the title of the song. Some interesting guitar riffs on this. I think Kerry Lindgren, is it Kerry Lindgren? I think so. I might be wrong. Anyways, he has an interesting way of putting his guitar out there. It's very kind of rock stylish, but fits in with the song very well. Some strong vocals. I think most of the songs have strong vocals on it. I was about to say Joe Walsh. Steve Walsh has very strong vocal sound to his voice, a very frontal voice. In some regards, I find his voice kind of overpowering, maybe too strong. If you might want to say, I've found that with him in the past too. So some nice keyboard parts here, and some heavy guitar parts towards the end of the song. So, and not a bad song. I like this song. It's not bad. All the World, which is the next track, is I think one of the longer tracks on the album. Some nice piano opening. I like the use of the piano, and the violin offers a different kind of element to this song over the previous songs on the album. Steinhardt's voice isn't as frontal. I actually think I prefer his voice. I just find Walsh's voice too overpowering for me. I don't really know how else to say it. I don't think it's a bad voice by any stretch. Many people consider it a wonderful voice. I'm not debating that. I just find it a little bit too strong. I like Steinhardt's voice a little more. Keyboard parts and some heavy guitar riffing, really catchy stuff here. Okay, the next song up, Child of Innocence. Nice guitar riff opening with a very it's got a bit of a flavor of Tull, like there's a bit of a Tull flavor to this opening part, which I liked. Vocals were dominant on the song, of course. Solos very intense, and the riffing was very beefy, I found. The next track is To You. It's a piano keyboard, very upbeat song. Yeah, it was okay, I didn't mind it. Mysteries and Mayhem, which was the 7th track on the album. Got a very pretty of a fast-paced keyboard part and guitars, and some nice violin on this as well. And the guitars were pretty catchy. I like the guitar playing in Kansas. It's one of to me, the highlights of the whole group. I think their guitar playing is fantastic. I just don't find it progressive in the way I think of progressive. So as a rock guitar player, fantastic though. The last track is probably, to me, the most progressive of the tracks on the album. Very good keyboard part, very good keyboard opening, with some subdued but catchy violin here. Really good. And there's some more catchy parts and some more subdued. It's a more subdued track overall. It's not as prominent as some of the other stuff. But where you have heavy guitars and keyboards on the album, very frontal as always. This was probably my favorite track on the album, and I think maybe because it was longer, they were able to stretch it out a little more, give it a little more of that progressive sound to it that I like. But it's American progressive rock, and for some reason I don't take to it as well as other forms of progressive rock music. However, as a rock album, it's quite good. It's quite a good album. I think I actually like it better than the two that I own, which are Leftoverture and Point of No Return, which are both very good albums as well. But I think I just like this one a little bit more. Seems to be a little bit more guitar oriented, a little more dominant in the guitars, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hearing things that aren't there. Anyways, wasn't a bad listen to. Think it's great, and let me you guys listen to the album, tell me what you think. And please just understand that I am not knocking Kansas in any way, shape, or form. They're just not a band that I'm into. We all have things we like. We hear things differently. I hear this differently than a lot of people do. I get that. I'm sorry that if it offends people, it's not meant to offend them. It's just the way I hear it. That's all. Some things hit people differently. I know there's some people out there who absolutely abhor Rush, can't stand them at all. And I'm not going to go there with what I think of them. But at any rate, it was a good listen to. I'm glad that Ben suggested the album. Another chance to listen to Kansas. Maybe my feelings about them will change over time. Again, I don't dislike any of their stuff. It's just not my choice of the go-to music. So there you have it. From Ben's Album Challenge, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please put your comments below about the album. That would be much appreciated, and we'll be back again next week. Now, I'm not quite sure if we're going to be doing a Ben's Album Challenge next week, or we're going to alternate with another show. I haven't decided yet. Probably will let you know when I do the episode of this week, next week. But I will let Ben know before then, long before then, so that if I do decide to go back to Ben's, I just want to keep it fresh, so I'm trying to alternate between this and another show. I have another show in mind. I'm just not sure that I want to put it up here on this particular spot. So I will know by the beginning of the week, and think about it for a bit. So anyways, I hope you had a good night, a good day, and a good night, and we will see you again next week. Take care. Bye.